Hello and Assalamu alaikum students, how are you? During this meeting, I'm going to discuss with you about the chapter number 9, which is about creating and maintaining high performance organization. This chapter is setting a basis for the coming up chapters, which will discuss about the performance management in the organization. These are the learning objectives. Define high performance work system and identify the elements of such a system. Summarize the outcome of a high performance work system. Describe the conditions that create a high performance work system. Explain how human resource management contribute to the high performance and discuss the role of the human resource management technology in high performance work system. And at the end, summarize ways to measure the effectiveness of human resource management. Okay, ji, high performance work systems are those systems which make full use of resources and opportunities to achieve organizational goals, and each element of the system must fit well with others in a smoothly functioning wholly and result in increase in the productivity and the financial success. In a high performance work system, all the elements, people, technology, and organizational structure work together for organizational success. There are three key elements in the high performance work system. First is people, the people who are working in the organization; technology, the kind of the technology which the organizations are using; and the organizational structure. When these three things are well interlinked and functioning smoothly as a whole system, then that system is known as a high performance work system. So it has the three elements. When they are working smoothly and functioning as a whole, so then we call that system of the organization as a high performance work system. These are the elements of the high performance work system. If you look into the one side, that is the organizational goals, and that organization goals are processing through organizational structure, task design, people, reward system, information system, and this whole system is basically interlinked with each other with different kind of lines, and as a result, by the processing of these activities and the processing of this system, there is a, on the right side you can see the performance of the organization. So this is the basically one way of seeing the high performance work system in the organization. Now let's talk it about these elements of the high performance work system one by one. Elements of the high performance work system: first of all, organizational structure and the way organization groups people into division, departments, and the reporting relationship. What is the basic organizational structure of the organization? It's a divisional structure, it's a functional structure, it's a metric structure. What kind of a structure the organization is following? Then the design of the task. We have discussed about the design task in the chapter number 4 as well, when we have discussed about the job analysis, job description, and job description entails the different kind of a duties and activities of that kind of a job. By task design, we mean that how we are dividing the overall task of the organization into the different jobs, and then these jobs, how we are grouping these jobs into the different kind of a departments or the groups. People should be well suited to the and prepared for the jobs, the kind of the job that the organizations are doing, and the reward system encourage and motivate people to achieve the goals of the organization, and information system which enable sharing information widely throughout the organization. Which element of the high performance work system do you feel is the most important? Uh, you can give me the answer in the comments. High performance work system lead to the high productivity and efficiency, and high performance would lead to the high profits, high product quality, greater customer satisfaction, and low employee turnover. If there is a high performance work system, then there are high, if your employees are highly satisfied, that lead to the high satisfaction of the customer as well, and that lead to the higher productivity, and that lead to the higher profits. If the product quality is quite high, the customers are satisfied and they are coming again and again to your organization, so that will also lead to the higher profit, and that will lead to the greater customer satisfaction lead to the higher profit for the organization. Outcomes of the higher performance work system: if there are interesting jobs, that lead to the satisfied worker, and that lead to the low absenteeism, which lower the cost, which result into the higher profit as well, because employees are present and employees are performing well in the organization, and that lead to the higher productivity in the organization. And that is basically, if your employees are satisfied and the jobs are interesting, so that lead to the low turnover as well. We have discussed about the design of the job in previous chapter when we have discussed about the motivating jobs. And then high quality of the product lead to the satisfied customer, and satisfied customer is repeating their sale, that lead to the higher sales, and that higher sale lead to the higher profits. So higher profits are basically coming from the satisfied customer, and it also higher profit than in the satisfied employees are also contributing into the higher profit. And if there are the widespread knowledge sharing mechanisms in the organization, which leads to the different kind of innovation, and these innovation lead to the different kind of high quality product and services, which again lead to the different, which again lead to the satisfied customer, and satisfied customer lead to the high sale, and high sales lead to the higher profit. So knowledge sharing is linked with the greater productivity, and the greater productivity links with the higher profits. Characteristics of the high performance: what do we mean by high performance? That condition which can contribute to the high performance: the team performs work, the work has been performed under the teams, employee participation in the selection, uh, employee participation in the selection of the team. Yes, they can basically become uh, part of the process. Employee receive formal performance feedback and are involved in the performance improvement process, and ongoing training is emphasized and rewarded. Employee reward and compensation relate to the company's financial performance. So that these links, when they have been linked with each other, so that lead to the high performance in the organization. Equipment, work process, and technology encourage maximum flexibility and traction among the employees. Equipment, that means that the kind of the equipment that the people are using, the kind of the work processes they have, that increases the flexibility and the interaction among the employees. If the processes are smooth, if the functionings are smooth, if the technology they have, employees are enabled to use their technology, employees are enabled to understand their technology, employees are enabled to implement those kind of a technological changes. So that lead to the high performance as well. Employee participate in planning changes in equipment, layout, and work method. So the workers who have been subjected to those kind of changes, if they have become, uh, if they participate in that process of the change, so that also lead to the high performance. Work design allows employee to use a variety of skills, and that means that design of the work have a certain kind of a variety, uh, which basically motivate the employees to learn new skills and apply those skills in their jobs. Employee understand how their job contribute to that finished product or service. That's a kind of a feedback with the employees are getting. That's a kind of the recognition with the employees are getting, that how their work are contributing toward the final product or service in the organization. Ethical behavior is encouraged. With all these kind of a technical and the requirements of the and the condition of the high performance, ethics is lead to the ethics is basically enabling, and ethics is basically encouraging and motivating employees to work in that organization in some context. Okay, Ji. There are one thing which has been linked with the high performance is basically empowerment, and empowerment links with the working of the individuals and working of the employees in the team settings. And so designing work so it is performed by the teams empowers the employees, that the employees are working in a self-managed team. That's the process through which the employees are um, deciding about their work, deciding about their rewards, deciding about the processes that basically empower them. And the manager basically coordinate the roles and the provide the resources so the team can perform the job. So it's important for companies to capture and share the knowledge of the workers who have had years to learn their specialty. Knowledge sharing. A learning organization supports lifelong learning by enabling employees to acquire and share knowledge. Learning organizations are those organizations which encourages the employees for the lifelong learning skills. They have a certain kind of a culture and the environment in which the employees are learning a new skills and applying those skills to improve their job, and they engages in the continuous learning, and knowledge is shared among the employees, and the critical and systematic thinking is widespread, that how they are basically seeing the organization, how they understand the organization, and how they are improving their practices. And it has a culture which in which the learning is valued, where the learning is appreciated, where learning is recognized, and employees are valued for their learning. Job satisfaction and employee engagement. Employee engagement is a broader term which has encompasses many other concepts as well, like satisfaction and the motivation, but dominantly it has been used for the motivation of the employees, the degree to which employees are fully involved in the work, and the strength of the commitment to their jobs. So employee job satisfaction and job performance are related. It has been seen that the employees who are highly satisfied with their job, it also lead to the higher performance in the organization. So if the employees are committed, and if the employees are satisfied, if the employees are, so that lead to the high performance in the organization, and that leads to the productivity for the organization, and that productivity lead to the profits for the organization. Brand alignment. Ensuring that HR policies, practices, and programs support or are congruent with the brand, and passionate workers are fully engaged, company become part of their sense of who they are. Passionate employees identified with their organization. Passionate employees have identity basically aligned with their organizational identity, that lead to the occupational intimacy, that they are highly committed and highly aligned with the organizational brand and organizational work, and they don't want to leave the organization, they don't want to be part of that organization, they want to remain in that organization. That lead to the occupational intimacy, and HR has a role in creating those kind of a condition in which the employees feel that kind of emotional attachment with their organization. Ethics system includes written code of ethics. What is the general principle of fairness? What is the general principle of justice? What is the general principle of honesty, integrity, truthfulness, and how the organizations are reinforcing those ethical behavior. And these reinforcement of the ethical behavior basically lead to the certain kind of lead to the honest conduct in the organization, and that will also save the organization money, which may get wasted in stealing, or in some dishonest and or some in some corruption acts. Performance measures including ethical standards and channels for employees to seek help if they see certain kind of ethical dilemma, or if they are facing certain kind of uh, ethical, moral or ethical dilemma, so they can seek help in that regard. And training and ethical decision. What are the ethical decisions? Sometimes people are not aware about those ethics, to train them in that particular regard as well. Kamran has worked for the company for 3 years. He is enthusiastic and passionate about his work, has not missed a day in 2 years, and has several close friends he enjoys working with. Which statement best describes Kamran? You can answer in the comments. Okay, ji, now we have job design, HR and practices which contribute to the high performance. I've already talked about that. Keeping the people in the teamwork, and that gives the employee empowerment, and that lead to the high performance recruitment selection. Obtaining all those employees who are enthusiastic about and able to contribute to the teamwork, empowerment, and the knowledge sharing, then train them for those kind of the jobs in which they can perform high. They have those kind of a skill, they have those kind of a personality, they have those kind of a attitudes to work in those kinds of team settings, which lead to the high performance. Then performance management. Define and measure performance in precise term. What you are measuring, first of all you need to be clear about what you are measuring, and then link those performance measures to meeting the customer needs, and measure and correct for the effective of situational constraint. If there are certain kind of a constraint through which the organizations are not able to evaluate the performance of the individual, they need to be evaluated and basically link those behaviors with the performance, which may lead to the higher customer satisfaction. And then the compensation should be linked with the performance systems. So the those kind of the behavior with the organization want to reinforce that linked with the compensations and the benefits policy of the organization. So HRM practices that can help organization achieve high performance. HRM practices match organizational goal, performance management system, higher customer satisfaction and quality. And you can see the rest of the things that how the pay system and technology and selection system can contribute to the high performance. So employee performance is a process, individual skills and abilities, individual behavior and objective result that comes under the context of the situation and organization culture and the economy in which the organizations are operating, what are the organizational goal. The process, employee performance, we can't say it in the isolation, we can see into that particular context, we can see into the particular organizational goal, and how do the individual skills and abilities and individual behavior are contributing to achieving those objective processes. Now let's talk about the HRM technologies and HRM application of the technologies in the human resource management. There are three levels of the technological application and automation in the HRM application. First, transaction processing, computation and calculation used to review current HRM decision and practices. That means that what are the current systems of evaluating the your human resource related data. For example, if you have an information about the employee education and the experience and the skills and the kind of the achievements, so that's the kind of a, you can put certain kind of a calculation. If you want to select a new person, so your technology can help you to identify those individuals which have those kind of experiences and education and the abilities. Then application of the technology in the decision support systems, where you need to make a decision, and the human resource management technology HRIs, or which we call the human resource information systems, are providing a different kind of resources for making those kind of a decision. For example, if you want to make a decision about selection or the recruitment or the performance evaluation, so those kind of a decision has been suggested by the technological systems. Then the expert system, that those incorporate decision rules of people deemed to have expertise in certain area. Those expert systems are making an actual decision like an expert who are making a decision in that particular area, keeping in mind the data, keeping in mind the all the technology available, and those kind of expert system that are making those kind of a decision in the recruitment and selection. But definitely the it's a basically human mind which basically incorporate the other element as well. So the expert system can help the human resource manager to make a better decision in the organization. Expert system can help with the complicated business decisions such as scheduling the optimal number of employees for slow and busy work periods. So that's the one way through which the restaurant can manage that how many employees they require in their busy hours or in their slow hours. Human resource information system, relational databases. Relational databases are data in a separate files, and these databases have those separate files, and these files linked by the common elements. And you can track back the employee benefit, cost, training, courses, compensation. For example, employees have their information about their training in a one file, and employees have a information about their performance evaluation in one file, and employees have a employees information the the information about the employee salary in another file, and how the relational databases are linking these different files with each other and putting up some holistic picture for the human resource manager. HR dashboard are is actually displaying the HR related indicator showing goals and objective in a dashboard form, and then show progress towards meeting organization goal. It's a kind of a dashboard where they are showing a different kind of a achievements of the HR, different kind of HR policies information, what is the different kind of a achievement so far for the HR department, and how that it links with the organizational goal. It's a comprehensive dashboard which are giving holistic information about the HR policies, procedure, databases, some of the employee information, and the contribution of the HR towards achieving those organizational goals. Then human resource management online, electronic HRM that improves the HRM effectiveness and help maintain privacy on intranet, include social media application. An employee can get information when they need it instead of contacting an HR staff person. Electronic HRM, different employees are connected with each other if they want to come to know about their compensation policy, their reward policies, or their uh, benefits policy, their holiday policies, their selection policies. So they come to know about HRM. For electronic HRM, there is a intranet which are providing all that kind of information to the employees. The employees are not. It is not necessary for the employees to go to the HR person and ask for that information. So they can have that information through their electronic HRM. And cloud computing enables access to information delivered on demand from any device 24/7. And that is basically especially important during the COVID-19 pandemic because through cloud computing, employers are saving that kind of information for the employees in through this way, and so they can basically have an information directly. Many companies are using a social media applications as part of their electronic HRM strategies to communicate, like Facebook, like Twitter, like applications, and that basically help the organization to coach, communicate, and train their employees through various kind of the applications or various kind of apps where they are developing to train their employee to give their information about the company's policies and procedures and processes. Effectiveness of human resource management, that basically human resource management audits. And how can you evaluate the performance of the human resource function? So that HRM audit is basically a formal review of the outcome of the HRM function and especially the HRM department, how they are operating in the organization. So first of all, you need to identify what are the key HRM functions which have been operated in the organization and how does these key performance HRM functions are contributing towards the business performance and the customer satisfaction. For example, there are different kind of HR departments, staffing, compensation, benefit, training, appraisal and development, or overall effectiveness. For instance, for example, if you look into the training side, how does that training help the organization for improving the learning of their employees, productivity of their employees, productivity of the organization, customer satisfaction of the organization? But then you need to look into that thing, that what is the investment in the training and what is the output of the training and how does these things are linked with each other and how does it basically reflect into the performance of the HRM department in that organization. Then there are different kind of a compliance with the laws, in our case labor laws, and we don't have these kind of, I think, succession planning, and we have certain kind of a people go into a certain kind of certification, but we have a labor laws, and we can look into that thing, that how Pakistani organizations are incorporating and those laws in their practices. The customer oriented perspective of HRM, who are the customers of the human resource management? Line manager, planners, employees. And what do our customers need? They need a committed employees and competent employees. And how do we meet as a HRM? Customer needs qualified staffing, performance management, effective performance management system to evaluate their performance, and having a reward which is linked with the performance management system, and development of training of their employees. Um, there are different ways through which you can measure the effectiveness of the human resource management. Analyzing the effect of HRM program, one is basically HR analytics that measure the program success in terms of whether it achieved objective and delivered value. In an economic sense, there are different ways of HR analytics, descriptive analytics and predictive analytics, and you can use the different kind of analytics to assess the performance of the human resource management system. Then I've already talked about the training, like in terms of training, what is the dollar contribution of the rupee contribution of the company and what kind of output they are getting out of their training or the performance management system or whatever the HR system they have introduced, what is the economic value of that system. And Meyer, and then Meyer, who is communicating with whom and how often? That's the organizational network analysis. For example, if you want to identify a person for the leadership potential and that person is quite networked and that person is having an influence with on the other people, so you can see that person is a potential leader for the organization. That is all for the chapter number 9. If you have any question, you can write in the comment box or you can raise these question in the next class as well. Okay.